Let's move on to Sunday, November 6th action. We start 1 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Chargers, 4-3, 2-1 on the road at the Atlanta Falcons, 4-4, 3-1 at home at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. We'll start with the line history in this one. We have these Chargers opening up as -3 road favorites. They opened up at -3 at -102. They're now -3 at -115. Curious to see what they've done here. Bet365, those are pinnacle openers. -3 at -120 at Bet365. From a total perspective, it opened up at 49 at a pick'em. It's now 49 -115 to the over. See if they've moved at 49.5 here. They have not. I think that over does make sense. Let's see where the cash lies here. Again, I've not moved on anything pre-show, which is what I've been doing. 6,922 tickets in, 55% of the tickets, 88% of the cash on the Chargers. Then you have 91% of tickets, 98% of cash. If that's the case, I don't know why the total isn't moving. Chargers come in fresh off of their bye week. They were last seen an ugly 37-23 loss at home to Seattle in week 7, down 17-0 after the first quarter. Kenneth Walker gashed them for 167 yards. The Chargers themselves could do nothing on the ground. They finished with 53 yards on 15 carries. Austin Eckler did have 2 touchdowns. He has 8 over his last 3 games. The defense couldn't get stopped. The Seahawks finished 5 of 9 on third down, put up 6.4 yards per play. This defense is ranked 31st in the league, allowing 27 points per game. And they have more injuries. They lost cornerback J.C. Jackson for the season with a dislocated knee. Michael Davis will step in as the starter on the outside. They lose receiver Mike Williams to a high ankle sprain. He'll be out for 4 weeks. The hope is that Keenan Allen is going to be a full go on Sunday, but he's got this nagging hamstring injury. Joshua Palmer also missed week 7 with a concussion. He's expected to be back in the lineup. Joey Bosa got hurt in week 3. Rashawn Slater tore his left bicep. They're both on the IR. Then all-pro center Corey Linsley's missed 3 games because of knee issues. Dustin Hopkins is out 2 to 4 weeks with a hamstring strain, their kicker. So Bosa is expected to come back at some point this year. And Khalil Mack has 6 sacks. He's trying to hold his own without him. The Chargers are allowing 5.7 yards per carry. That's the worst in the league. The Browns put up 213 yards against them. So did the Seahawks. We know what this Falcons team can do on the ground. They have the 4th most rushing yards in the NFL. So, and you might be thinking about Cordell Patterson's out. They're still moving the ball with Huntley and Algier. They're coming off a wild 37-34 overtime win at home over Carolina. Mariota 20 of 28 for 253 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Kyle Pitts caught 5 passes for 80 yards and a touchdown. Damiere Byrd caught 3 for 67 touchdown. Huntley 16 carries for 91 yards. Algier ran 14 for 39, caught 3 for 46. Their defense looked awful. That banged up secondary. So A.J. Terrell, Jalen Hawkins, Casey Hayward, all dealing with injuries. And everybody was wondering if they would make a move at the deadline here today. DJ Moore, 62-yard touchdown pass with 12 seconds left, but he took his helmet off in celebration, 15-yard penalty. Then Pinheiro pulled it left, and then another chance in 32-yard field goal. He missed that too. This defense looked awful. 1 sack, 1 quarterback hit. Lorenzo Carter did return an interception 20 yards to the house, but why wouldn't we be on the Chargers and the over? And why aren't they moving it off of the number 49? Take it away for us because I'm very interested in moving on this game. Andy,
yeah. Oh, you wise asses in the chat. It'll be funny when there are 66 points and we can laugh at that typo. But yeah, it is 49 and a half. And I kind of like this over. I'm waiting. There's some injury, like somebody has mentioned. There's chances we might see some of this Atlanta secondary return. And it's one of those things where, the Chargers are a team. They're like that. Oh, there's a tennis ball. I won't even do the tennis analogy, but the Chargers are kind of a team where if they play a team well below their standards, they're going to look good. Justin Herbert's going to look like he's looked. The defense, even with some of the injuries, is going to look okay. Maybe not against the run, but this is a spot where, all of their weaknesses aren't going to be exposed quite as much. It's a bad offensive line. It's had some injuries, but the Falcons' pass rush is quite weak. It's going to be hard to expose that. It's a team who's had injuries to 2 of their star receivers, can't seem to get any separation, can't get guys open. And it's a secondary that's beat up. And yeah, I'm seeing some mentions of the trade from Kansas City. That was a cornerback who was falling behind the rookies. I don't know if it's like a desperation move for Atlanta. They needed just a warm body, I think, but he wasn't playing very well in Kansas City. That was the reason they got rid of him, looking for a new start down in Atlanta. So this is one I haven't bet yet, but I am looking at this over 49, over 49 and a half, waiting for injury news. Obviously, it'd be great to get Keenan Allen back. That would be a big deal for this. And it would be awesome if the injury news trended poorly for the Falcons secondary. So holding off on this for now, but hard lean towards this over. This is more of I need some Wednesday afternoon injury reports.
Yeah, I'm confused if everything is pointing to the over. I don't know why they're just sitting here on the 49. It's a surprise for me, but it does make sense. It does make sense. Do you think that I find it very difficult to back the Chargers here, even though my plan coming into this was that I would like to move on the Chargers. But now that we talk it out, they're just hammered with injuries, and they're coming back from the bye. And who's coming back? I mean, we'll find out about Keenan and Palmer, but who's coming back on defense? And then is Corey Linsley capable of playing a full game at all this year with his knee issues?
Yeah, it's so hard to get involved with the Chargers, but the Falcons defense just gave up a lot of yardage to PJ Walker and the clown car college backups. What's left of the Carolina offense with an interim head coach. So you would think coming off extra rest, if they can get anything going on offense, it's going to be a live bet kind of action for me too. There was a couple, like both of those games, the Bears game and then this one, it was like, oh, I'm probably getting involved in some live overs here if nobody's going to do anything to stop anyone else. And honestly, you almost couldn't have taken those too far. Although I did see some live over like 74 in the one and didn't quite get there. So looking at the over, waiting for injury news, no move quite yet. I want to bet the Chargers, but I know better. So I won't, even though the steam has come in the market. There was places that had a very, very cheap 3, as cheap as a flat 100, and now that's up to minus 120. I understand the movement. I agree with it to a certain point, but that might not be where I want to be involved. If I think the Chargers are going to score, I might as well take the over because I don't think they're going to be able to stop the Falcons despite the kind of one-dimensional look the Falcons have decided to become.
Staley defends the deep ball, so with such fervor that the running game is just left so vulnerable. And when he was with the Rams, I mean, it was a totally different situation. You got Aaron Donald up here, but now you have Bosa hurt. You have no help for Khalil Mack. I guess I'm going to do nothing. One thing I just that's been so successful is betting against what we saw last week. We added the Cowboys because we wanted to bet against what we saw from the Bears. Here, the Falcons put up 37 points. They score at will. Their defense looks atrocious. We haven't seen the Chargers since they allowed 37 points. Game makes me a little nervous, but I understand.
Why you can't just go full zigzag on every game. That's never gonna, I understand. Like that's some of the reasons I'm willing to look at the Chargers. I think people are down on their offense, but yeah, it's more of an overlook for me here too.
Yeah,
and we had like coins pointing out it doesn't matter if it's 72-0 and they're losing. Atlanta will just run the ball. Like they're very successful.
All right, no action at this point in Chargers.
Yeah, it's a light card for me. I hate to spoil it, but I have a couple bets I made, but boy, it's not 6 or 7 like last week.